Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
I'd be a good bell ringer.
Until the supervisor comes and then lays into you?
I'd just smash my face against the kettle so that people would say, I don't know who that is, but his face rings a bell.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every single week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow, hopefully comedic, once in a while interesting, and if we're lucky, informative. But we're going to dig into its meaning, its origins, its usage, but we're also going to use it to just hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And I am Skinny. Good to see you, man.
Good to be seen by you.
Of all the people to be seen today by, this is
You.
You.
You're
the highlight of the year.
You know why that is? I've just entered my second half a century.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Literally yesterday?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
So good. There to celebrate
50
the big
years and
big
48
5-0.
hours.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you were there.
I was
good
there. It
times.
was fun party, great food, good company.
I can't believe, we had to get, triple the space because of COVID so that everyone could have distance.
Yeah, to keep 6 feet apart. It was wearing those giant hula hoops that made it weird.
It made it
We
fun.
all look like Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
I think it added.
Yeah. But it's better to be safe.
Pictures look great.
Yeah, in retrospect, we should have used 3 feet ones. Because then if I have a 3-foot one and you have a 3-foot one, it's 6 feet. As opposed to using 6 feet ones personally, in which case then everyone was 12 feet apart.
Well, then
and then it was extra safe.
Then there was Dangalino, who just wore the hula hoop like a belt.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so if the hula hoop fits you like a belt, can you just be
You
that
must have quit.
Can you be that close to the person?
That's interesting.
Right?
What if you're just so large that you carry your own 6 foot? Wow.
Then I think you're safe.
Wow. I'm ahead of my time.
If you have 3 feet in both directions, you're safe.
What if people just span around? They just put their arms out and
I
spun
think
around
it's-
like Wonder Woman?
I think it's 6 feet from your mouth.
Oh.
So if you've got your own hula hoop distance.
From your mouth? Like if I have like those plates inserted, like
Sure.
those old tribe things?
Yeah, there's a name for that. I think it's lip insert.
Sounds
I
good.
think there's a name for that. I can't remember. I used to get confused. I hope this isn't insensitive to these cultures. So there's the language, like the gods must be crazy language.
The clicking language? Yeah.
And then there's the discs in the lips. And I thought the clicking was because of the discs.
Oh, no.
I know.
That
It's
is
like having
insensitive.
castanets in your mouth while you talk.
For all of our Spanish friends out there?
How you doing today? Good to see you.
Castanets in your gums. Wow.
Right? It's the
That's
same.
rough.
Now that I realize that, I've never seen, I think it's a
You
female
look
thing.
exactly like someone who has castanets in their mouth.
That's my big lips.
If
Okay.
if I was to describe it,
lips.
if I was to describe it any other way, I would say you look exactly like one of those tribes folks.
Like anybody in particular?
No, but
Anybody ever tell you you're a dead ringer for Grace Kelly?
Is that what you're thinking?
Whoa, Grace Kelly! Wow.
Nice segue, by the way. That is today's idiom, a dead ringer.
Dead ringer. When you
Dead-
said Grace Kelly, that thing has been flying around the internets.
What?
That
Grace Kelly doesn't
I
wear
can be
castanet
blue.
lips.
That I can be blue song like that.
Oh, yeah. Why is it called Grace Kelly?
I don't know. It's Grace Kelly by Mika, but it's like a decade old. But
Is it?
But apparently it's just caught fire.
I can be blue. I can be something. I can be violet brown. I don't know the words.
It's really close.
But that's the song
You
you're
got
talking about,
Yeah,
right?
you got the right letters.
Yeah.
Or numbers or colors.
Hey, have you seen the one with Ryan Reynolds and surprise ending?
Yes, fantastic. Yeah, that whole deal with Will Ferrell is amazing.
I'm just messing with you. You just sent that to me yesterday.
But Will Ferrell is a dead ringer
For the drummer.
for the drummer from the Chili Peppers.
Yeah, and there's a third doppelganger for him. I can't think of it.
So this is when I started investigating things. What came up was doppelgangers.
Sure.
Dead ringers, people that are doppelgangers, and one of them on the list was with Chad Smith and Will Ferrell.
Yeah. It's I mean,
It's too uncanny.
it's too interesting choice of words. Can you be too uncanny?
It's too uncanny.
Can you be canny? Is canny just like, that makes sense?
He's so canny. That guy's always on.
Yeah.
He's just canny.
But it's uncanny. It's like
ironic.
This will blow your mind. It's
as opposed to
it's
ironic.
uncanny.
Oh yeah.
So you're saying
You're so
too
canny.
uncanny.
Well, you're so canny right now.
If you're too
right
uncanny, are
you're
you
right
back to
on.
canny?
I guess if you came all the way around, your canniness could actually like circle back on itself.
Huh.
You're so canny. And when you're canny, you're canny. Okay. Famous actress. So this list was compiled together. You can comment in Village Idiom Children if you think they're reasonably accurate or not. In the end, make sure that your audio is being recorded because that's on you. Here we go. Ringing. Okay, Keira Knightley. Who would you say
She had
looks kind of
another
Keira,
celebrity.
celebrity that's Keira Knightley-esque?
Wow. Manuel Lewis. No, I don't know.
That's not what I was thinking.
What do you got?
They said Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Queen Amidala.
Yeah. I mean,
Can you see it?
nah.
I could see it.
I can picture them both. It's not that they're...
Well, of course they look different because they're not like twins, but
Yeah, but they're not like Chad and Will.
that's canny.
Okay. Oh, what's the guy? Okay, keep going.
Okay, I got another one for you, maybe. Okay, if you can see this, Javier Bardem, you know who he is.
No.
He is like the one. He was a Bond villain. He's kind of got a European accent, and he's like a flamboyant. And but his face was kind of melty off in that one Bond movie. How he looks like Jeffrey Morgan.
I don't know either of those names.
Well, this is not going to go anywhere.
No, but I can see what you're saying.
I can see the words.
They both start with J.
He's the guy from The Walking Dead. He was Negan in The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. And what's the first one?
Javier Bardem.
Javier. Like Javier? Like Javier?
Yeah. That's exactly it. It's not going to help our Village Idiom Children to have a visual, but
No.
for you in this moment right now, that
Okay,
perhaps
I'm
you can
pulling
see
him
it.
up. Oh, yeah. I've got those guys confused before.
Okay.
But I don't think they actually look side by side. I don't think so. But I've gotten them confused before.
It's the doppelganger. They're
Yeah.
dead ringers, like, or just a ringer.
Now, which one of those two was in that Atlantic City? It was
It would probably be
casino-y-
Jeffrey Morgan. He's that classic, like, slick.
Oh yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a good looking dude. Okay.
Okay.
One final one for you. Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yes, I already know. I don't know her name, but I know who you're talking about because I've made this mistake. She's in The Terminal with Tom Hanks.
Zoe Saldana.
Is that her name?
No, not the one you're thinking of. But get your Zoe Saldana.
Zoe
S-A-L.
Saldana. Yeah, that's her.
Was she in The Terminal?
Yeah.
All I can think of is just Tom Hanks.
Well, she's like again, side by side. I'm like, what do I see? But I get them mixed up all the time.
Yeah, so there's enough. A doppelganger.
Yeah.
There you go.
Interesting. Do you have a doppelganger? Have you ever had somebody?
They're all unflattering. And so the last one, someone told me, he said, "Oh, you remind me of Louis C.K." I'm like, "Oh,
What?
I know." I'm like, "Okay, I'm pudgy and I'm losing my hair."
I remember somebody saying you looked like Jon Stewart. And I'm like, oh, I can see that.
Jon Stewart, I get. Yeah.
So I've had. So when I was
But
younger,
how about this? That's French Stewart.
it totally was.
Okay, continue.
I had. So
How about you?
I now get. So I have the.
Mr. Clean?
Without going in. Okay, so you just hit the nail on the head. Without going into any like, the classic. People usually say this about a race, and they're so wrong. Like, oh, they all look the same. It might as well be said that about bald white guys, because I've got
Telly
you,
Savalas?
yeah, I've gotten that. I've
Not
got
Teddy, Telly.
Vin Diesel.
Don't screw that up.
Vin Diesel. The one that I actually.
Diesel.
Vin
That's
Diesel.
awesome.
Name Mr. Clean, like that's his going. Like name a white bald guy, and people have gone, you kind of look like. But I do get Bruce Willis a lot. But you know who I really do look like? Bruce Willis's stunt double. It's weird.
That's a good claim to fame.
Yeah, like it got sent to me, and I'm like,
You are a dead
What?
ringer for Bruce Willis's stunt
yeah. So
double's
the guy,
assistant.
the guy that stands in for him because he looks like him, I look like him.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But
That's good.
my-
So you're like third generation Bruce Willis.
my kids talking about how the brain develops if they saw, so I was shaving my head before it was kind of as normal as it is, and so I got stopped by people. Like it was early. People thought I was like a skinhead, or they thought I was whatever. I'm just gonna do this. But my kids, 5 and under, if they saw any bald person. So my brother-in-law was the biggest Michael Jordan fan. Posters everywhere. They're like, there's pictures of Daddy everywhere. And the only
your children are actually colorblind.
The only similarity is the bald head.
Yeah.
So your brain is developing. It's categorizing facial features and whatever.
Right. All bald guys are Daddy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I did have so I started to say, so Bruce Willis is stand-in double now. But when I was younger, and when he was younger, I would have to look up his name, but he was the older brother in Blossom. Not Joey Lawrence, who I think was also in that. The older brother in Blossom. At the time, when people were like, hey, have you seen this show? And I went and looked, I'm like, oh, man.
That's me.
That is me. It was freaky.
Cool.
Now, further than that, in high school, I was in sports a little bit. I was in music a lot, drama a lot. When we would do...
I bet your dad was like super proud.
Oh, man. Did I just tell you this? Did I just tell you this? Are you setting me up to tell the story?
No.
Okay, let me finish one thing. You're freaking me out. So whenever we would do inter-school things, like whether it was a sports tournament or a band festival, other schools combined, I would repeatedly have people go up and go, are you related to Larry? I'm like, no. So multiple people over the course of several years, a Larry who went to Centennial High School, strangers coming up asking if I'm related to him. I never met him. Never got to meet him.
That would be worth finding some old yearbooks or something.
Find Larry.
Find where's Larry?
But I'm like, somebody's like, are you related to? And I would beat them to the punch.
Larry? No.
Yeah, no. So you just said make your dad proud. So
because your dad's like manly man's man.
He's a manly man's man. So just this weekend, I was doing a performance at church, and it was spoken word poetry. Okay,
Right, okay.
So the day of, I called my mom. It was my birthday.
Yeah.
So my mom had called me. I missed the call. I called her back. Happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah. They were going to meet me for lunch. I'm like, why don't you come to church? My daughter and I are both performing. She's like, oh, we can't. Dad's working. But what are you doing? I said, well.
Dad's in the shop. He's got greasy hands right now. He's working on the truck.
So let me preface this story, not to waste too much time, with my dad wanted to name me Bucky. Did I ever tell you this?
No.
Bucky Batten. He thought
That name is amazing.
He thought the alliteration would be so good, as I was being called and starter quarterback Bucky Batten.
I did that to my kids.
All he could hear was, what would it sound like over the PA
Max McLaren
in a football stadium?
Bucky Batten.
So I got Mark. But anyway, so that's what he really wanted. Like, he was track star, Mr. Athlete in high school. And then I come along. And I just said,
I do spoken word poetry.
I dabbled in sports, but I just said I did a lot of band and drama.
I like painting.
So I tell my mom, and I'm doing spoken word poetry. She goes, oh, you did that a couple years ago too. I'm like, yeah, I'm basically a poet now. She goes, well, that doesn't surprise me. And I'm like, yeah, I bet 50 years ago when my father had his firstborn son born, holding him in his arms, I bet he thought, one day, boy,
You could have been a Bucky.
you're going to be a poet. But the disappointment of what I've become.
I wonder if you were named Bucky, if all of that would have gone away. Because name a poet Bucky. Or
Interesting.
Yeah.
If the name
Duke
would have determined the outcome. Like, I mean, I would have been beat up a lot more.
Bucky. You'd have been doing the beating if your name was Bucky.
You'd
But
have
don't
to.
mess with Bucky. Wow.
Don't buck with Buggy.
Be careful with that.
Yeah. So anyway, that when you're like, I'm sure your dad was proud. I'm like, I just had this conversation with him.
Well, anyways, it's all
Which,
good.
of course, he said, no, I'm very proud. You're this type of person, and you're this, and you're that. Like, I don't play football. No, you don't.
No. Cars, football.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's good.
I like hanging around with. Wow, this is going to sound. I'm gonna say my dad. I'm gonna go with that. I was about to say I like hanging around with manly men. Are you proud now, Dad?
In case you're listening, Ernie, Mark needs new loafers to be light in for the new year. Some Christmas loafers.
Anyway, Dead Ringer. That is today's idiom. That's what we're going to talk about. And
It's a dead ringer for Catherine.
one more. And so, as per usual, I've got a little game for you to play. Do we have time for a game?
We do have time. Let's get her.
All right.
Let's get it.
One of these options is the correct answer for the origins
Okay.
of...
I don't know why I was thinking a game. Like
rolling the dice?
Yeah, like you've invented a...
Oh, no. We do this almost every week.
Sorry.
So it's a game.
Got it. Village
For
Idiom
those who are
children.
listening for the
Help
first
me.
time, we're going to dig into the origins of the idiom Dead Ringer. But right now, I'm going to give Skinny 3 options. Feel free to yell at your headphones to beat him to the punch. Which of these 3 is the correct origin story to the idiom Dead Ringer? Are you ready?
Okay.
Number 1. Mm-hmm. It's a spin-off of the idiom Saved by the Bell. Now, if you go back to episode 29, just for those, to set this up a little bit to help you, if we already did Saved by the Bell, and one of the theories is it was people being buried still alive, and there was a string going up to the surface where you could ring a bell. So the person is dead, and they can ring a bell. That's why it's not completely out of nowhere. It's a spin-off of that. Dead Ringer.
So you're
Saved by the Bell.
deceased, yanking on the cord. You're the dead ringer. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 2.
That actually doesn't sound so bad.
A horseshoe that encircles the stake but didn't make a sound. Like in the game of horseshoes.
Wow. That's got to be it.
I'm giving poker face right now. Trying.
That-
Number 3.
Wow.
Number 3. Slang for cheating in horse racing. I should have broadened my examples.
You said horses
two horse
twice.
ones. Shoot.
You said horses twice. I believe one of those horses was a Freudian slip. So let's just get rid of A right off the bat.
What's A? Oh, the
A-
spin-off of
A
Saved
was-
by the Bell?
It was Saved by the Bell. Coffin, yanking on the bell because you're still alive inside your casket.
There was a spin-off of Saved by the Bell, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Principal-
Zach and...
Yeah.
Okay, so which leaves... I really like
The horseshoe with no sound.
the horseshoe
or
with no
cheating
sound.
in horse racing.
I've actually played a decent amount of horseshoes, and I've never heard of the phrase. But a ringer, clearly, that's a ringer, but you're getting it around without the noise. It's a dead ringer. Oh, that's good.
Why aren't you contemplating the horse racing one? That's got substance. They run around like a ring-shaped
No.
loop.
Okay, I'm going to go with number 2.
Number 2, a horseshoe that encircles the stake, but
I'm going to be
didn't make
sad.
sound.
It's got to be horse because you've doubled up on horse.
I know.
I'm feeling 50-50 here.
Dumb for doing that. So, well, let's get into origins. Find out.
Let's do it.
I said some words, where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind.
So, even though you wrote off option A right out of the gate,
No.
that is the most popular answer on the internet.
Oh.
But it's false.
Okay, good.
So a lot of people dead and ringing, and the origins of Saved by the Bell.
I was about to be sad.
Yeah, so
I just dismissed it so fast.
it was potentially a real thing,
Okay.
but someone who did that, who actually rang the bell, was not a dead ringer. It's not where it came from. It couldn't be more dead. It couldn't be more dead wrong. But dead ringer comes from horse racing, not horseshoes. So when cheating owners would switch one horse for another and showcase it under a false name or a false pedigree to defraud the bookies, it was called ringers. So dead ringer gets him. So let me set it up a little bit. In the 1800s, a ringer, just the word ringer, was a stand-in.
You brought her. You ringer.
You brought her, you ringer. Was a stand-in for a horse at a race. So sometimes people would replace a slower horse with a faster horse or vice versa to tip the scales for betting purposes. But the horses had to look exactly the same because
As they do.
yeah, they all look the same to me. Like bald white guys. All horses
Bucky the horse.
look the same. But
Bucky for a horse. Anyways, continue.
right. But let me find my notes here. I thought I had it here. The word ringer. Oh, here. The word ringer started out as a word for just someone who rang bells, obviously. Such as like the bells in the church. You were a ringer. You were a bell ringer. But the jump from ringing bells to switching out horses seems like how in the world. But in the early 1600s, another phrase jumped in the middle of that, which sort of sets it out. And that phrase was ring the changes. So today,
ring in the new year?
Well, there you go, sort of. To do something in a different way in order to make it more interesting, you would ring in the changes. Ring the changes. So originally, this just simply meant that the bell ringer was ringing a pattern of bells that included variations instead of the same old pattern, that kind of thing. So the variation of ring the changes got shortened in the 18th and 19th century, which turned into just meaning substituting anything. Specifically, substituting counterfeit money for good money, real money. It had to look really the same, but the term ringer still meant substituting, so it became associated with substituting inappropriately, like substituting to deceive. So then
cheating.
Yeah, cheating. It immediately, when this started happening in horse racing, it was a term that already existed for counterfeit, and so a ringer was a counterfeit. And turned into a horse racing. So the horse ringers obviously weren't dead. The word dead is literally meant the way we use it in other phrases. It means exact or
use
precise.
It already leading up to that.
Yeah, I did.
That's funny.
So that's all that is. There's no origin to the word dead.
Like a dead shot.
Yeah.
Or a deadhead.
You got that dead on.
Dead on.
Yeah.
Squarely centered.
Precise. Yeah. I don't know why. Doesn't seem to be any history to that. It just means exact or precise. And so dead was added to ringer soon after ringer started being applied to horses. So the first known published case of dead ringer appears in the Oshkosh Weekly Times in June 1888. And it's written very strangely.
Oh my gosh.
Like, look at the way this is even spelt. Dat R is a markable semblance beshoe. It's spelt like you're trying to make somebody have an accent. Dat R is a markable semblance beshoe, said Hart, looking critically at the picture. Dat's a dead ringer for me. I never done see such a semblance. That's the first quote for dead ringer. What else here? There was in 1882 an article published in the Manitoba Free Press described this. A horse that is taken through the country and trotted under a false name and pedigree is called a ringer. So that was just a matter of fact as definition kind of thing. And so, yeah, dead ringer is horse racing, not horseshoes.
So close.
And it's
I really like that, though. Like, you just threw it into the dirt and you got the ringer, but no noise. It's a dead ringer.
I know, it's a good one.
It's good. It's really good.
So I'll give you.
I jumped into dead ringer in the news, and out came this little news piece of trivia for this particular year, having difficulty finding bell ringers for the Salvation Army.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, and so dead ringers, and so
they got Weekend at Bernie, and now they have a dead ringer.
Hung a string between them. So the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign has been raising money for people in need for more than a century, but this year a shortage of bell ringers is leaving spots unfulfilled.
Interesting.
There's a
shortage of bell ringers.
Like when you go to the grocery aisle, you can't find one right now. The shelves are
depleted of bell ringers. That just sounds like if they can't find bell ringers, maybe the salary has gone up. Maybe I should be a bell ringer. A little side gig.
Like just maximize your time.
Yeah.
Finish your regular gig. Head over to the mall. Throw in a hat. Ring a bell.
Yeah.
Ring two.
Yeah. I'd be a good bell ringer.
Until the supervisor comes and then lays into you?
I'd just smash my face against the kettle so that people would say, I don't know who that is, but his face rings a bell.
It's sick. Oh, that was like a set-up volley that I didn't know was going to get spiked into my face.
In 1974, listen to this. Tony Murphy, an Irish millionaire with a passion for horse racing, attempted to pull off a horse racing bait and switch. He arranged for an unknown horse who he referred to as winning horse Gay Future. Horses have the strangest name. This is one of them. Although this is long enough ago that he might have just meant happy future. But Gay Future to be trained by Anthony Collins in the United Kingdom. In reality, the horse was actually a similar-looking imposter to the real Gay Future, because the horse didn't appear promising and it decreased the odds of him winning an upcoming August 26 race, blah, blah, blah. However, before the race, the real Gay Future was brought to England from Ireland to be swapped in secret. And in an attempt not to alert the bookies, Murphy entered 2 other Collins trained horses, though he never planned on actually having them race. On race day, conveniently the same day as 9 other huge races, the 2 other horses that were the cover-ups were officially pulled from the competition, leaving Gay Future and only 1 other horse left to race. So to deter those at the racecourse from even betting on Gay Future...
You just keep saying the name.
It's in the article. Increasing his odds. His legs were covered, so they covered Gay Future with soap, his legs, to make it look like he was super sweaty. And fast forward, Gay Future won. But it fell apart because a reporter learned that the other horses hadn't even traveled to the race courses, let alone be pulled out last minute. They didn't even come. And so they were convicted of attempted fraud, but did not go to prison. That was the one example when I tried to find a dead ringer in the news.
Wow.
1974, Tony Murphy. He pulled it off, but he got caught. But he did do it.
I have nothing to add to your article. That's good stuff.
Yeah. He had a future. Mm-hmm. And he won.
He did. He's apparently quite the athlete.
That horse.
Yep.
What you got?
Nothing. We should probably wrap this bad girl up before I Fifth Amendment myself.
Well, you can always do it in post.
You're a dead ringer for Carl Malden.
There we go.
Do you get that a lot?
No. The Jon Stewart one I do like. Yeah.
Have you heard that before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably by you.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Well, you ready to get in? Man, we've run out of time here.
Are we? Have we? Oh, rambling we have been.
Time has moved.
All right. Well, you know what that means then. No?
I think it's time for some riddlings.
Okay. Riddling is a game we like to play. Take a 2-part trivia-based question, requires a 2-part but overlapping answer. Could be overlapping by a word or a syllable or multiple words or entire paragraphs if we're really lucky. But the more it overlaps, the funner it is. So let me give you an example. Last week was episode 153, and the idiom du... If we say idiom du jour, it's the idiom of the day. But if it was for the whole week, what's week in French? Idiom du...
Semaine.
Actually? Mm-hmm. How do you spell that?
Semaine. Semaine.
Semaine.
Semaine.
All right, this was the idiom de semaine. Am I close?
I think so.
Okay. This great American hero toy paired up with the Tiger King. Did you get that one? Mm-mm. We left it hanging out there. So this great American hero toy is G.I. Joe. Tiger King is Joe Exotic. So the correct answer would be G.I. Joe Exotic. And that's how you play Riddling.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Very fun.
We did have a couple answers come in. Got it correct. So thank you for playing along at home. That's kind of my favorite. You guys sending us comments.
I've got something a little special for you. A little blast from the past for you children who are into little cult classic films. John Cusack owes $2 in this dark teen comedy about being someone's exact duplicate.
Sure. Say it again.
John Cusack owes $2 in this dark teen comedy about being someone's exact duplicate.
That would be Better Off Dead Ringer.
That's it.
Yes. That's a great movie.
It is. It's funny. $2.
So do you know the
French fries?
Do you know the neighbor guy that's in love with
the French girl?
The French girl.
Okay.
Who is staying with them, I think.
Yes.
That guy, his name is Dan Schneider.
Okay.
Dan Schneider is the brains behind most, if not all, of the last 15 years of Nickelodeon shows like iCarly.
Oh, really?
And it's all Dan Schneider.
Oh, so he's got his finger on the pulse of that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kids television these days.
All right, give me one.
All right, I got one for you, and it goes a little something like this. This lookalike horse precedes a pocket full of posies. This lookalike horse precedes a pocket full of posies.
Dead Ring Around the Rosie?
That's it.
Oh,
so I cheated a little bit.
Well,
it's not Ring Around the Rosie.
It's Ring Around. I knew where you were going.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, this one, I also cheated on this one. So,
but Dead Ringer means cheating.
This is a triple, okay?
Did you get 3?
Okay, ready? Sean Penn receives the death penalty for eating Rick Grimes, who looks precisely like that idiom.
Oh, say it again. I got it. That's great.
Sean Penn receives the death penalty for eating Rick Grimes, who looks precisely like that idiom.
This is fantastic, man. Dead man walking dead ringer.
Yes.
Yes. That's our first triple.
That's a triple.
And not just a triple. We can do a triple, but that triple...
Yeah, dead man walking
tracked
dead.
With the episode.
Whoa.
Dead man walking dead ringer. Great. Okay, well I got two more, but I'll only do one. I'll give you one more and we'll leave one hanging.
Okay.
I did two more because I was afraid we would. I thought this was like a low hanging fruit stuff.
Okay, I also was concerned about Walking Dead.
So I'll give you this one.
Okay. The Legitimate Children beat me to the punch.
No, this one's just for you. We'll leave one more. We'll bonus round today.
Bonus round, Illegitimate Children.
This one's just for you. What do you get when you cross the horse that was swapped in 1974 with Bender and Fry?
No. Gay Futurama?
That's it.
Oh, no.
Okay, now I got one more for everybody else.
That one was hard to sort
Say out
through.
loud.
Yeah.
Now
I was like, why is he saying gay future like 100 times?
I mean, it was just the way the article
Okay,
was
whatever.
written, but...
I thought you were just messing with me.
All right, tell everybody how they can play along.
You can reach out to us on Instagram at village.idiom or email us thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's the Facebooks, the YouTubes, or the Twitters, or whatever other social media cesspool you choose to use, at 3 Minutes Gone.
Perfect, and here it is. I'm going to say it twice. A Western with Sharon Stone and Gene Hackman is an exact duplicate.
Ooh.
A Western with Sharon Stone and Gene Hackman is an exact duplicate.
Very nice. And that is 3 Minutes Gone.
I think we stretched that into 6 or 7 minutes.
That was
gone,
several
but-
minutes gone. That just sounds like half the days. And there's 7 more minutes gone.
Exactly.
It was fun putting today's episode together.
Whoa, there's something playing in the background.
That's right, he's a dead ringer for Elvis.
Sure.
And it was still fun putting today's episode together. Hopefully you've got all your elliptical time in. You're at the office now, and so you're ready to take on the day. I'm Skinny.
I'm Jurassic Horse Hockey Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
I don't know who you are, but you're a real dead ringer, boy, no.
That's 3 minutes gone.